Based on the principles of the dignity and equality inherent in all human beings, the Coalition for Justice and Human Rights is committed to addressing injustices and violations of human rights within our community. Over the past month, Coalition members have met with Nyala Lounge's business owners, patrons, staff, and other African Canadian business owners to deepen our understanding of the issues. As a result of this engagement, we are releasing this statement to raise our concerns related to unfair and differential treatment of African business owners in Edmonton, inappropriate access to privacy information of business patrons by law enforcement, and the combative style which law enforcement enters into business establishments they deem a concern for public safety. Coalition members have reviewed a series of videos from Nyala Lounge that has documented these interactions with law enforcement. We are questioning why the police are entering with such a heavy response. The process and approach of law enforcement into the establishment in groups of up to 10 to 12 armed officers is invasive and unsafe. Such a presence of law enforcement should not be warranted unless there is an emergency life and death situation. We are concerned that the presence is intimidating, fearful, and excessive. According to news reports, over the course of 7 weeks, police conducted 25 inspections and issued 12 bylaw tickets, including infractions surrounding patron counts, patron scanning, and incident logging. 25 inspections in 7 weeks appears to be extreme and differential treatment. We have also heard of those on site being tasered, harsh arrests causing injury, and harassment by police. What is also concerning to us is that law enforcement is able to enter a private business under an Alberta Gaming and Liquor Commission bylaw and in such a militaristic fashion. Such an approach to law enforcement is triggering and only serves to place barriers between law enforcement and community. The AGLC bylaw seems to contravene fundamental human rights, and a charter challenge is something that may need to take place to ensure that information and privacy rights in this increasingly digital age are protected. With the Alberta Human Rights Act as primary legislation, we also question the legitimacy of this bylaw. Nyala's experience isn't just about one business. We have heard from current and past business owners that unfair practices are ongoing, and the community believes there is unfair targeting and harassment of African-owned businesses. They feel this is based on their culture and race and nothing more. Our concerns are supported that the vast outcomes of charges against Nyala were withdrawn or stayed. More are set for trial. We need to question if there is a desire to put undue hardship on this business owner, forcing him and other businesses to close. We are aware that Nyala Lounge business owner has asked for mediation with police. However, it has been refused by the police. We have to question what that says about a police service that states it is committed to the community it serves. As with the research conducted by the CBC on street checks, we are concerned that Edmonton police have been disproportionately stopping, questioning, and documenting people of color in non-criminal interactions. This has been evidenced in street checks and now seems to have metastasized to business establishments such as lounges and bars frequented by African Canadians. The community has many concerns over this. Considering our concerns, we request that the Chief of Police and the Edmonton Police Service to meet as soon as possible with these business owners and community members. We ask that this be a private meeting to allow for safety and openness. We recommend the meeting is facilitated by Coalition members. Following the press conference today, we have volunteers and members here and ready to work together to submit official complaints to the relevant authorities. Thank you.
Build on that too. I think the question is, what is this militaristic response? What does that look like?
What's the most egregious thing that?
Well, what we're seeing is a very small business, comparatively speaking, with a number of people that are just sitting here relaxing on their own time, and all of a sudden you get a a horde of police officers and other officials coming in, dressed in full uniform with the boots and the gloves, sidearmed. It's holstered, and they're interacting with the clients not in a social way, but in a way that's authoritative. Like they're standing over people that are sitting down. They're asking for ID. They're telling people to move. They're banging on washrooms and walking into washrooms. They're physically restraining, and in one case where they're choking one individual. I mean, these to me are very actions of not a democracy, but of actions of a militaristic state. And I think that we need to question why this is happening. And maybe there is a good answer, but the police have not been able to respond to why this sort of practice is happening. And in fact, that we can speak about, since this whole issue has become public, the police have, and thankfully, changed their practices, at least when it comes to this incident, where at one time we were dealing with a vast majority of white male officers. We're now dealing with one African Canadian officer that comes in a much less authoritative and more of a community policing as opposed to professional policing method. Okay. So to me that shows that maybe the police are re-examining their practices, which is great, but I think that they need to explain to these business owners and to this community what's been happening. And I would also say that our local politicians need to explain. I mean, Mr. McKean is the councillor for this ward, but he hasn't been around. He's declined an offer to come and meet with the businesses. And, it seems to be a non-entity on his radar. And so, and I can say that the business owners have sent personal emails to Mr. McKean, and he's ignored them. Yeah. Not even a response. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed in our opinion.
On the video, we saw police officers outnumber patrons coming into here, and that's very concerning for us. It's concerning when we see the police go up to a customer and randomly demand identification. And when that customer doesn't have identification, they are hauled out and they are let go on the street. There's no reason for that. There's no justification. It goes against all human rights acts in Canada.
It's to the best of our knowledge, we're seeing in the video, we're seeing patrons being handcuffed. We're seeing patrons being physically restrained, chokeholds, and to the best of our knowledge, none of these have led to any charges. That the police are removing patrons, handcuffing them, physically touching them, and nothing results from that other than a couple bruises and scrapes. So why is that happening? And again, all of these are questions that we don't have answers to because the police have not responded. The police have not responded to this coalition, the police have not responded to the business owners, and the police have not responded to the press. So, and to me, this is all about transparency as well. And where's the transparency in this? Can you? One of the issues that is telling is what happened to this owner, where he was, he's a veteran. He served with our armed forces for 20 years. He's a Canadian citizen. He's a business owner. He's a property owner, and he's charged for some, an offense. And he's not given a promise to appear, but he's held in cells for many, many hours. And the outcome of that is that the charges stayed. So that, to me, is telling of something that's amiss. And I think that that's a reflection, again, of what's gone wrong with policing in this situation, in my opinion, personal opinion.
Back here. What do you hope now that this coalition can accomplish? You haven't had much luck so far getting responses from the police, but what are you planning to do tonight, and what are the next steps? Well,
I think it has generated some change. The police have changed their tact, at least recently. So we're going to continue to monitor. We're hoping that this emboldens other business owners from maybe other cultures and other communities to step forward, that they can approach us if they have concerns, that they can speak, we can be their voice to whatever feeling that they feel comfortable with, and that we're here to help. I mean, we all live in this community, and we all have a right to feel safe in this community, but we also have the right to feeling respected in this community, and equality in this community. And if people want to take anything from this, just that, you know, that we're here to help positive change, and we're here to support people that have had similar situations or have issues that involve their feelings of human rights or issues of social justice.
I saw you filling out papers over there. What's that involve?
So we've brought a number of complaint forms from the Alberta Human Rights Commission, and we're going to leave some copies here. Again, we want people to feel comfortable filling these forms out. The Alberta Human Rights Commission is here to protect Albertans, and they're here to serve Albertans, and we want people that are feeling that they've been mistreated by anybody in authority or anybody, you know, whether that be government or other people within the community, if they feel that they've been discriminated against or they feel that they've been wronged in any way, that these forms are here, and then we can help facilitate them registering these complaints.
Okay.
And the other thing I want to say is, I know that the owner here, he's done his processes. He's attended court. He's shown his documents. He's used the processes. He's filed a complaint with the Professional Standards Branch about how he was treated by the police. And this complaint was over a year ago.
Yeah, a year and a half.
A year and a half ago. So he filed a complaint with the Edmonton City Police about he was being treated by the city police by more than a year and a half ago, and as of yet, no response. To me, that is very disturbing and disconcerting.
Okay.
And if I can just add that if you remain silent, you accept. And by having the coalition here, we're here to support, like Mark said, the Albertans here who have issues. Anywhere that they can come, doing the forms is a form of speaking out where they can find a solution. That's what we're here for.
How did you all get together?
It's just a ragtag group of people that just have a common cause, you know, like-minded. And so that the coalition is a very grassroots organization made up of people from all sorts of walks of life, and we've been together for a couple of years now.
Okay. So this coalition isn't specifically designed for this particular issue,
No,
right?
no.
It will take on other issues in the city?
Yeah, we're looking at all sorts of, we're here to help the community in whatever they feel is issues in the area of human rights, dignity, or social justice.
Okay. Can you remind me again, just so I don't get confused when I'm writing the story, what the name of the coalition is?
Oh, it's the Edmonton Coalition for Justice and Human Rights.
Great. Any more plans for follow-up meetings?
I think so. I think we're going to sort of maintain regular contact with not only this owner but other owners in the community and see how things are changing. And we're hoping that the Chief of Police will meet with the African community and will allow some open dialogue about how they feel that they want their community and their city to be, and how their engagement with the city police should happen.